As the founder of BDS and a longtime entrepreneur and business owner, I know all too well how critical it is to have a solid team to win in business. I use the analogy of football or any other team sport for that matter as a way of illustrating what it takes to win in business. You got to have the right players in their respective positions to execute successfully to the plan. Miss on any positional role and you increase the probability of not optimizing your success. I've known Dan Laux for about 15 years. I first became acquainted with Dan through a client of BDS's. Dan was introduced to the client company of BDS, and Dan was at that time the president of the Six Sigma Academy worldwide. His task was to conduct a study on how my client, the company, was performing. The introduction was brief, and the introduction was not really significant with me, but nonetheless, the feedback I got from, again, my client, BDS's client, the CEO of that company, he says to me one day, this guy, Dan Laux, he's a pretty smart guy. Not long after that, I met Dan at a Fiesta Bowl committee meeting, at which time we connected the dots from meeting through business to now discover we have a common interest, and that is college football. The fact that the Bowl is a nonprofit enabled us to donate our time and services for the betterment of our community. All good. I got to know Dan very well through our many years of working together on the Fiesta Bowl committee. Now let's fast forward. I knew by association that Dan enjoyed a lot of success with the Six Sigma Academy, leading to that entity being sold, creating new opportunities for Dan to go in a different direction in business. He did just that, and he proceeded to build a very successful company, which he later sold. At that point, we began to get better acquainted from a business perspective, leading to some serious talks about Dan joining forces with BDS. On numerous occasions, I would share my vision of taking BDS nationally and establishing a network of consultants using our unique business model, which always led Dan to asking questions as to how exactly does BDS differ itself from other types of consultancies. Dan's a very methodical guy, which led to months of ongoing conversation about the business of BDS. Finally, the day came when Dan said, I got it. What you have is different, and in much the same way as Six Sigma changed the landscape of how companies operate, what you're doing with BDS is similar, except in a different way. Your team literally rolls up their sleeves and assists in the process of taking a company to the next level. And the process that you've got is unlike anything I've ever seen. And better yet, it works, and it has worked for over 15 years. And the best is yet to come. Dan's decision was made, and he came on board, and he now serves as the managing partner of the firm. Dan saw the light in much the same way as our clients do once they get to know us and see how we operate. I couldn't be more proud than to say that the company I founded over 15 years ago is in the best of hands under Dan's guidance and leadership. Thanks, buddy.